Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Not Just Politics podcast. Today is Friday. No, today's not Friday. Today is Thursday, February 22nd. We're recording at a little bit of an odd time. Today's guest is Lili Orozco. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, that's right.
I got it. Okay, she's the founder and president of the Turning Point USA chapter at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm sorry that I butchered that. For those who don't know, Turning Point USA is a nonprofit founded in 2012. This is just from the website. The organization's mission is to identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote the principles of freedom, free markets, and limited government. So that's just for context. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I know you're very busy. We've been planning this for a long time, so I appreciate you taking time to sit down with us. This is my first question I have for you that I've been curious about. As a Gen Z person who is conservative, what do you think sets apart Gen Z from other conservatives, like looking at the entire sort of conservative movement from a generational perspective?
Yeah, you're asking like just generation as a whole?
Yeah, like what sets Gen Z apart in the conservative movement? How have they sort of shaped the conservative movement?
Well, I think that Gen Z heavily influences the conservative movement because all of Gen Z is liberal, I feel like. I feel like there's not a lot of conservatives the way that, we're being raised. There's not, the traditional family values. And we could talk about a million different things, but I think that, it's so prevalent to have conservatives in a Gen Z movement right now because there's just so many liberals.
Have you seen that data that came out that shows that Gen Z is actually politically splitting by gender?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to try to find that if I can. I don't want to disrupt the flow of this, but essentially there was data that came out, like Sagar and Jetty talked about it, how there's now a trend of young men becoming more conservative and young women becoming more progressive.
Have seen that, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because they're realizing, I feel like once you're, you graduate high school, you start college, or even after that, you go into the workforce. You start realizing that, girls want masculine men. I feel like a lot of people are leaning towards that right now. I feel like that's the reason why maybe men are leaning more conservative. But as to females, I don't know. That would be my guess if I had to guess.
What made you start your Turning Point chapter? What made you get involved?
Yeah, so to be completely honest with you, I don't even think I've talked about this. But in high school, I was never politically involved, like at all. I wouldn't consider myself liberal. I would just right down the middle. I would agree with some things on the right, some things on the left. But then once I graduated, I started college, I realized how polarized it was. Mm-hmm. And I realized that I'm Christian. So those values to me, it's not that I have to have all my friends, be Christian or conservative, but it definitely played a big role in having, deep conversations with friends. And coming to Pitt, it was really, really hard to make friends that were just like-minded. You want to have those conversations. So I started looking around and I was like, okay, well, there's no conservative club on campus. I didn't even know college Republicans existed.
Okay.
So this was before. And so then Khalil and I were like, okay, well, it's really hard to make friends. I'm sure we're not the only people on that same boat. So that's why we started the chapter.
And how did you hear about it?
Yeah, so I was actually on Instagram one summer, and I can't remember who I heard it from, but I think it was an ad for one of their conferences. Mm-hmm. And then I went to their conference, and that's where they were like, well, University of Pittsburgh doesn't have a chapter. And so I was like, okay, well, that's perfect.
Yeah, their conferences look crazy.
Yeah.
They look so wild. Anyway, so you guys just had James Lindsay on campus. Yes. I just want to briefly touch on that. How'd that event go?
It went well. And that was one of our smaller events. Mm-hmm. We have 2 upcoming, which I'm sure we'll talk about after. But that went well. He's a great speaker. Very, very intellectual speech. I feel like it was very different from the rest. We had a small protest. I'm sure you've seen the pictures. We had clowns. The circus came to Pitt. But it was a lot of fun. I think everybody that was there for the right reasons enjoyed it.
Mm. And Candace Owens is coming next. Mm-hmm. And that's a tour through Turning Point. So you guys that's not like an individual thing. She's just going all over.
Right.
What do you admire about her?
Yeah, I think that I really admire the way she just not attacks the left, but her comebacks, because some of them, we've seen, and they get a lot of attention on social media, and then they're fiery and they're funny to view and stuff. But I think she's very educated. And so I think that she knows a lot, and she can answer all the questions, even the ones we don't get to see that aren't, promoted, like the reels, like I said, the funny ones. She's just very educated. She knows what she's talking about.
And what is she actually talking about for this event?
Yeah, so we actually don't know. Like you said, it's a tour. So
Okay.
Turning Point will let us know eventually once they decide on their topics, because whatever it is for our school will be for the rest of the tour for the spring.
Gotcha. Okay. So they're picking that out.
Correct.
Okay. What do you think about the culture war in this country?
It's a problem. It's a huge problem. I don't think that I don't know, but in college, you definitely start seeing it. You see that people start, not wanting to be your friends, or distant from your, friend group because of whatever you disagree with. And I think that it's a huge problem, not just in college, but in the country, like you said.
How do you think we fix it?
Conversation.
Okay.
I think we need to have better conversations. I think that both sides, I'm not even going to say just the left, they need to actually want to have a conversation that's not just arguing. It's actually a conversation of, let me see what you think. I'll tell you what I think, and we can find some common ground. Because it's really sad in college campuses right now, you can't do that. For example, the left will bring, or I think it's like the LGBTQ club on campus. They'll bring a speaker in, like Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their freedom, right?
Yeah.
So even though I completely disagree with what they're promoting, I mean, sure, I could protest it, but I'm not going to go and try to shut it down or whatever the case is, because it's free speech. I can't, say free speech for us, but then nothing for you. So I feel like in a college campus, especially if people were just willing to have a conversation, I'm sure, actually, I know we could find some common ground.
Is there ever a point, do you think, when you, like, do you think this is what you're doing for the rest of your life?
I definitely want to be involved for the rest of my life. I don't know if it's exactly like a career path, but I think it's really important to be involved right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a bit of like a abrupt switch of subject, but like, where are you from?
Yeah, so I actually was born in Mexico.
Okay.
And then when I was 4, my dad started working with Sony.
Okay.
And so then he started getting promotions. And then we got told that we had an opportunity to move to Miami, Florida. So that's where I was raised.
Okay.
And so then we took it with the thought that we were going to be back in Mexico in 3 years. And we were excited about that because I really did want to go back. That's where all my family's from. So then we ended up staying because, he started working his way up the ladder, and the opportunities and everything were so good. But yeah, I'm from Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got citizenship, moved to Miami, and the whole thing.
Yep.
Do you remember any of that?
I remember my mom got like a study guide to like become a citizen, but it wasn't right away. I feel like it was maybe like 5 or 6 years after we actually came here.
Okay.
So then, yeah, I remember asking her questions on the study guide that she had to present for her test. But other than that, I don't remember anything. Luckily, we were all like, because I have 2 other siblings, we were all under 18. So if you're under 18, then that passes down.
Right.
But if it would have been older, then I would have had to, take that test and do everything they had to do.
Yeah. So do you think that's shaped a little bit of your conservative worldview?
Yeah, I think that it's really hard. I always say that Latinos that think they're liberal are really Republicans at heart. I feel like a lot of Latinos are raised with, the traditional values of family, faith, freedom. And so I do think that that's shaped my conservative values. And yeah, and everything like happening with like the border and stuff, like it's hard for me to talk about because, I'm an immigrant. And I think that the United States is built on immigration. I think that's a great thing. but I don't agree with it being done illegally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not right. Everything should be done as legal as possible, So, yeah, I think that shaped my conservative values.
Do you have any concerns, I guess, with the larger conservative movement and with Gen Z? Does it worry you that, I don't know how to say this, like that we've become so conditioned to fight
Mm-hmm.
and to argue and like scream at each other
Yeah,
that I think this applies for everyone too. I think that people are creating problems
I agree.
where there aren't any.
I agree. Yeah. I guess it is a little bit worrisome just because, like I said, it all goes back to having those conversations. How are we ever, like at the end of the day, we are supposed to be united. Like I truly believe that. And the way that I run my club on campus is very different than most people think I am. So I'm willing to have those conversations. I'm actually one to want to have those conversations to find common ground. I don't care if you're conservative, if you're liberal, if you're a good person, we can be friends. And like that's where it stops. We don't have to talk about politics. There's some friends of mine that are liberal. That's okay. We have great time talk about whatever else. It's not political.
Yeah.
So I feel like if our country started doing that more as a whole,
Yes.
then we could achieve something here. But if we're all just like going at each other 24/7 and creating problems where there aren't any, like you said, yeah, I think it's worrisome because if it's bad right now, I still think it could get a lot worse.
Yeah, well, that's my concern is that no one seems to be concerned with slowing down at any point. It's just continuous. But yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know. I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oops. But no, I agree though. I think like I agree with that. Like we need the conversations. I think it would be better. That's what I was gonna say. It would be a lot better if you didn't talk politics with your friends. Like I have a friend that I don't talk politics with ever. I have actually more than that. But it's like it would be better if everyone did that. Probably if we all did. Also, this is a question that I have.
Yeah.
You guys were at America Fest, right? You went.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I hope you know that I mean this with no disrespect.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
Is it just one big party?
See, so that's actually not disrespectful. I hear that a lot.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what way you mean that, but I hear that, everybody that always tells me, oh, well, you're going to the conference, like people just go there to, party and do this or do that.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's
I know
what
it can't
always
be.
Hear.
That can't be all of it.
No, but listen, I mean, maybe I'm just different because I don't really find a thrill in all those things. But I've never met somebody at America Fest that's just like doing that. Like when I go with like my friends and like sure you'll hear like, oh, there's a party. We went to James O'Keefe's party because I was one of the speakers.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it's not like we're sitting at the conference all day. We're listening to the speakers all day. We went to one party, but yeah, that's always what I hear about these conferences.
Like I don't mean to like reinforce a stereotype. I'm sure there is actual convention stuff going on. It's just when I see what gets posted, it's like it's like a huge venue. Like where even do they find this thing? It's like do they host the WWE in this thing? That's kind of what it looks like. It's got like the giant square lights like to the middle.
Yeah. It's great. You should go to one.
I want to go. We want to go we want to go this year.
Yeah.
We're going to try to go.
You guys should definitely.
And I want to like vlog it. Like I told Logan, like I want to vlog America Fest. I think it would be hilarious.
You need to see it for yourself. You're asking me, but you need to experience it.
That's kind of what I think I do.
Yeah.
And who were like, I mean, we were just looking before you guys got in here.
Yeah.
We were just looking at the speaker list. It was like 50 people long.
Yeah, so
like the CEO of My Pillow.
Mike Lindell, love him. No, but it's I mean, I love Turning Point with all my heart. I think that they've shaped my entire college experience. They're great people too. They're really, really down to earth people that work in headquarters. And I've gotten the privilege to meet them. But these conferences are seriously like amazing conferences.
They're
Their events
crazy.
team are like insane at what they do. And yeah, there's, a huge speaker lineup. It goes for 3 to 4 days depending on the conference. And yeah, you're basically there from like 8 in the morning to like 5 p.m. listening to speakers. You're in and out. You can go to like all the different booths, like get merch, find out more information about different like organizations that are there. But yeah, it's a great time, and you should definitely go. They have conferences coming up.
We want to we want to go. It's too bad that I got rid of my Let's Go Brandon t-shirt that I bought outside of Heinz Field back when it was Heinz Field. Back before they took that. I don't even care about football. But I don't have that t-shirt anymore. Otherwise I would have worn it. Okay, so I also saw you on a thing. We're jumping around a little bit here, but sort of
No
I think
worries.
this was it. You met Tucker Carlson.
I
You like
did.
sat at a table with him. What was that like?
Yeah, we did a little round table interview, which was pretty cool. So that was at a
It's
conference.
wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's probably the coolest thing I've gone to do with like the conservative movement.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah,
I mean, being on the stage
definitely.
with James O'Keefe, like that's.
It was pretty cool too.
But
Definitely.
with all respect to James O'Keefe, he's not Tucker Carlson. Like
Right.
way
but
more people.
James and I have built a relationship. I really admire what he does and the work he does.
Oh yeah, I've never met him.
Yeah. Oh,
I've-
he's a great guy. He's very fun to be around, James.
Mhm.
But the Tucker Carlson interview, it was a lot of fun. So it was at one of the Turning Point conferences, and headquarters kind of reached out to the four of us that were part of the panel, and they were like, "Hey, we've chosen you for this opportunity. Would you like to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah."
With Tucker
So-
Carlson, that's wild.
Yeah, and this was like very recent, I believe, from when he was let go from Fox.
Okay, so that was like right after when
yeah,
he left.
right after.
Not Fox News playing footage from the Tucker Carlson network.
he won.
That's,
He
He
won.
did win. He absolutely won.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on him interviewing Putin? People are very upset at him for this.
To be completely honest with you, I don't have many thoughts other than I think that he pushes boundaries, and I feel like more journalists should do that.
Fair.
Yeah, that's
Fair.
that's my only thought.
Who are you rocking with in 20? First of all, I mean, Christ, who are you rocking with in 2024?
Yeah, so this is not me speaking from Turning Point's behalf. I do
Yeah,
have to
this is only
clarify
this
that.
is only you.
This is just my personal opinion. I was a DeSantis girl for the longest time because he is my governor, and I think he's done a great job in Florida. But right now, I would have to say that I give my support to Trump. I think that he's the only one that could kind of reverse everything that's been going on in the last couple of years with this administration.
Why is Nikki Haley still in the race?
I think it's just for the meme.
Why is Nikki Haley? It might just be for a meme at this point. Is it going to
Yeah.
be? Here's the thing. I know that she listens to this. This is my proposal to Nikki Haley. You need to release you need to do what Lindsay Lohan did. Release an NFT, a Nikki Haley NFT as a tax scam. And just make a whole bunch and then give them out to everybody and then say they're worth money and then write it off on your taxes.
Yeah.
And make it all a meme.
Yeah.
I think they should start. I think more people. I told people. I think that at this point, for the 2024 debate,
Yeah.
Trump and Biden are both going to be on so many drugs just to get on the stage that I think they should just start doing drugs on stage. I think Trump should just pop a Zin, like in the middle of Biden giving an answer.
Yeah.
Biden should just pull out a vape pen and just take it and blow a huge puff of smoke in Trump's face.
He
They
needs
should
more
just,
than a vape pen.
they should just do drugs. Trump should like be rolling. They should be rolling joints like while each other are like stumbling over words.
Yeah.
They should just do that. Like, can they do ayahuasca on the stage, like while they're trying to debate each other? I'm endorsing Taylor Swift. I mean, I'm not even
You're a Taylor Swift
kidding.
guy.
I'm a Taylor Swift for president and for nothing else. For celebrity and then president.
Why for president?
Because this is a few questions I have for you. How much worse can she really do?
See, I do not like her at all. I think Love Story is about all I like.
I made a whole campaign slogan for her.
Are you serious?
Yes, I was gonna do it on the show, but then we didn't record. So I didn't. But it was gonna be Taylor Swift, "The Best Days of Your Life," because that's one of her songs. So that was gonna be my campaign pitch for her, because I think if you can, I think if you can influence a fifth of the voter base in this country, I think you just I think we just give her the key to the White House now.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And surround her with intelligence. I mean, she's smart, but she doesn't know politics. Surround her with people that know the White House, and then she can just go do a concert and make money. That's how we can balance the budget. Is a Taylor Swift tour. I digress. So you're rocking with Trump. Here's my question.
Yeah.
This might be a bit of a harsh wording of a question.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
Do you care at all about who Trump is as a person?
See, let me start here. So, 2016. Obviously, I couldn't vote. I wasn't 18, but you keep up with it. I feel like the media lies a lot, and I hated Trump. I didn't think he was going to be a good president. I didn't like him as a person, and down that rabbit hole. But now that you kind of, start thinking for yourself, look up things for yourself, you're not, just really listening to like a Fox News or a CNN, but you're doing your own research, you kind of see that like his policies work, his administration is better than the one we have now. But to go back to your question about do I care who it is?
And I don't mean to say like, because I'm sure that you care. I guess my question is like, does his actual presidency, does the weight of his presidency outweigh his moral shortcomings, whatever you want to call them? Right.
So right now, I would say yes. It's kind of sad that there's nobody better. Honestly, like I am kind of disappointed that it's just in between Biden and Trump right now, really. How come like this country, the greatest country, like there's not a better option? Like in my opinion, there's no better option right now than Trump. I don't agree with everything as a person morally, but I mean, you look at Biden and I mean, God, I don't agree with him at all. So I think it's just picking the better one for the sake of this country.
Do you think we can do that forever?
No. That's why I said, it's sad that these are the only really two options. I don't think we can do this forever. I think that ideally in a world, it would be somebody that is a good person.
Oh, I guess I mean, like, do you think we can do the two-party system forever?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have objections to a multi-party system?
Not an objection. I just feel like keeping it at a two-party system is probably the best way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, I feel like the parties themselves change so much. Like, what Republicans are now wasn't what Republicans were back then, and same for Democrats.
Not even 4 years ago, they're not the same.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fine. I was just curious because, like, the way I see it is that I don't actually see the candidates. I don't actually see the parties producing better candidates.
So what would be like your alternative then? To like how would you say you would fix that?
I don't know. I don't know how to actually fix the system. It seems like there's a lot of money and momentum behind it that's keeping it going. But I think that you'd have to there's never been a country that has like I think you have to change the way we vote. Yeah. Like any country that has a first past the post voting system does not always results in a two-party system.
Yeah.
And I think the two-party systems are kind of inherently polarizing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I see what you're saying.
But also, then there's like the argument that it would, there's an argument, I don't really agree with it, but like that a multi-party system would slow down or it would speed up the rate of progress. And then some people don't like that. It's just all down to personal preference. I just don't, I'm about to write in Can we write in Harambe again? Could we get him more votes than last time? That's my question. Didn't he get like 10,000? Can we get him more than 10,000?
There's this guy on his TikTok. His name's Jordan.
Brent Peterson. Yes. I'm about to like write him in as a protest. It's so absurd. What do you think about RFK?
Not too many thoughts. I personally would not vote for him.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll be honest. That's not what I expected.
Really?
Yeah. So that's, I guess, my next question then is like, because I'll just be honest, like from what I've seen on social media, I did not get that impression of you at all.
Really?
No.
Like,
not at all.
you would think I would vote for somebody like RFK.
No. I'm just saying, like in general, you do not seem. And again, I do not mean this.
No, you're good. You're good.
This is like I'm saying this as a compliment. Like this, you're not, like I don't like. It's not stubborn is not the word, but like I guess more dogmatic. I guess like
Okay.
the fact that I don't even know. I'm like at a loss for words. Again, I don't know. What have I done wrong? I don't even know what's happened here. But that's really cool. But so like.
Yeah, I mean, listen, my ideal candidate would be somebody, like I told you, I'm Christian, somebody with good morals. I think this world needs more Jesus. I think that, like, society is so broken. And I think that the rate at which we're going in, we are going to destroy this country. And we're going to harm, physically and mentally, our future generations.
So you think like a return to religion kind of thing?
Yeah, and I mean, not everybody, has to believe what I believe, and I get that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, where's a society that had morals, principle? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, not even a thing anymore. You can't find, like, good, genuine people. I don't know, I think we're so broken.
Like where? I mean, I meet good, genuine people.
Would you say...
Yeah.
See, it's not that I don't meet good, genuine people. I do. But there's a lot of evil. I mean, to talk
That's
about
fair.
it for 2 seconds, like, just because I believe in Jesus and I run Turning Point, I'm conservative, whatever you want to, fill the blanks in with. But I get so many death threats for just doing what I do on campus. And
Yeah.
it's like that's what I mean. There's so much evil for what you believe in. Like, I mean, if they don't agree with it, they hate on you and they send you death threats or, the most hateful comments. And like, I mean, if these people had the tiniest bit of Jesus, like, you just don't
so?
do that. Yeah, you just don't do, like, the death threats I get, there's some people that don't send me like a death threat with like an anonymous or like a user 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
I know who they are. And
That's crazy to like put your name on it. It's like when George Santos was paying for OnlyFans models and his account name was George Santos. Love it.
so, yeah, it's like I know who you are. And for you to have so much hate in your heart, to be able to like say like something harmful towards somebody or that you're going to physically harm them, like
It's the screen. Did they do that to you in person?
they have before, yeah.
That's even wow.
That's
okay.
crazy.
Okay.
But it's like if you had a tiny bit of, if you were grounded, if you had morals, if you, like I said, had Jesus in your life, like you hate on me so much, but there was no way that I could ever wish any harm on you. And you literally send me the most gruesome things that I probably couldn't even post online because they're so gruesome. Like they would be taken down immediately.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like this society just needs, I mean, Jesus, I don't know if you're religious at all, but.
I was raised Roman Catholic, but I guess this is my question. Like, do you put any responsibility on the Catholic Church for not addressing like every controversy they've? I'm not trying to like unfairly I'm not trying to go after Christians. I'm not going after Catholics.
No.
Whatever you need to live is like cool. Don't make me think like you, and it's fine. But like, that's kind of what that's what made my parents fall away from it. That's what sort of eventually, and I guess also like too many times of going to church and hearing pastors say stuff like, "Oh, this is the only way," and this is the. And I get that they don't. Not every Christian thinks like that, but um, yeah. So I sort of fell away from it.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I
I
mean,
still believe in some sort of
absolutely. And
God.
let me just say this. You don't, okay. I'm not saying that every person that doesn't follow Jesus or isn't religious is a bad person. That's definitely not the case. I've met good people that don't believe in Jesus or any other religion, and they're great people. But to answer your question about, do I place any fault on like the church? To an extent, I would say yes. But then I always remember that religion, at the end of the day, is man-made. And your relationship with God, that's what you should be focused on. So there's days, where like, I mean, there's churches I've been to that, yeah, they're like, I don't even know why I'm here because I don't agree with A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, well, when I sit down and I'm just, reading my Bible and my relationship with God, that's different. I think that, I don't know, religion and your relationship are two different things.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on like the sort of social distrust that Gen Z is experiencing? And because I do agree with you, I think that the reason why it seems like everything's falling apart, I think, is because I think all of our institutions have kind of collapsed a little bit. Not completely, but I think there's just a lot of people now that are just trying to navigate the world completely on their own, and they're falling apart.
Yeah, that's such a good way to put it. I mean, I agree completely with your statement. And I think that aside from like following something or, rooting yourself in something, it's also what is happening to our families.
Yeah.
Like the family dynamic traditions, like it's so broken.
Yeah, and it seems to me that there's plenty of data at this point about the fact that children need two parents.
Absolutely.
So,
This might be a controversial thing, but they need a mother and a father.
and that's sure.
Yeah, they need two parents. There's something that a mother provides, and there's something that the father provides that they can't. Like a mother can't provide what the father does, and vice versa.
That I agree with.
So it's like if you
Young men need some sort of role. They need somebody, even if it's not
Yes.
their dad. They need that. I do. I'll be honest. Like when it gets into the gender.
gender ideology, all
did-
that stuff.
Yeah, no, never mind. I was gonna. Yeah, when it gets into all that stuff, I get kind of exhausted because how many. My question is like, how many hours do I mean? I guess you devote as many as you think you need to, but that's the one thing I think strongly agree with is like the young men especially, they need a role model of
Yeah.
some sort. They need somebody
Yeah.
in their life for
Yeah.
sure.
If we had more strong mothers and strong fathers, this world would completely change 180. It would.
Yeah.
It would, because the problem right now, I think it's not so much the grown adults, but like the upcoming generations.
Like Gen Z, Gen Alpha.
Gen Z, I mean, Gen Alpha's even worse, but yeah. I would, yeah.
Yeah, I've
say
been
the
talking about
upcoming
Gen Alpha a lot. I'm concerned.
I think we all are.
I'm concerned. I don't know what we've done to them, but I don't think it's good.
No, it's not good. It's sad and it's evil, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to ground their world in. Do you here's my question is like, do you feel like, because I was talking to my friend about this,
Yeah.
do you feel like you have a solid, and maybe you do because of your faith, but like, do you have a solid grounding in reality,
Yeah.
like as you go through the world? Okay,
Yeah.
because I always just go on social media, I see some of the accounts that I follow that will give you like multiple headlines, and it's just, and this is not new to me, I'm not surprised by this, but it's just different news sources reporting on the same story 3 different ways. And I'm like, how is any kid growing up going to establish what is one fact that they're going to be able to figure out
Right.
if every news source that they look at is telling them it's like all different stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about like news articles, but like I feel this goes back to parenting. If you have a strong mom, if you have a strong dad, or, it takes a village to raise a child. So if you have good people around you,
Mhm.
I mean, they'll always root you, hopefully, in truth.
Mhm.
So if you're well grounded and your parents raise you to be strong and to always seek the truth,
What is the truth?
the truth. I mean,
What is it?
for me, it would be something religious.
Okay.
So I would say, truth is what's in the Bible.
Okay.
And right now, it's been a whole thing on my TikTok because I talk a lot about what's going on in the world with, I guess, gender. But right now, we were talking about how a man can now feed a baby and, through his nipple or whatever. And
Mhm.
it's the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever seen. And it's like, if you are affirming delusion, you're not loving your neighbor. That is not
Mhm.
truth. A man cannot get pregnant. A man can't be a mother, and so forth. There's basic fundamental truths, and we're completely stirring away from them. That's
And
truth.
Okay. Do you, the hard sciences, the boundaries of anything there? Like, do you use the sort of like the hard sciences to explain things that the Bible does not
What do you
directly
mean?
explain?
Like
Like
what?
for example, the Bible doesn't directly say how old the Earth is,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
So some people, so there's like what is it called? The young Earth is that it's like 4,000 years old or whatever, and then there's the scientific community, which says I don't know, is it like 4.5 billion? But my question is like, do you turn to science to explain things in the Bible?
Um, Sometimes. I feel like there's certain topics you can.
Okay.
There's certain topics that you can't. But I think that, our generation, our not even our generation, this world as a whole, every different generation that you can think of, right now we are not accepting fundamental truths.
Mm-hmm.
Like our country, you'll go to Mexico and they'll laugh because our country can't get it together and tell us what a woman is. Like this is a real world problem in the United States. Like we cannot say what a woman is. We can't. Like we can't. It's a truth. It's like a fundamental truth, and other countries are laughing at us because there's real problems in the world. Like here's the United States, freaking they don't know what a woman and what a man is. So there's like fundamental truths, and I don't think you get that from anywhere other than, I mean, what's literally true. There's a man and a woman.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's things that are just it's just the truth. I don't know how to
No,
decipher
no,
that.
no. I know. I'm sorry. I'm hearing. I'm just. I don't know how to. I don't know how to like word this question. But it's. So then, what is? I don't even. How do you apply that? I guess not how you apply that. Like every other religion is going to say that. Every other religious person is going to have some version of that. And if their version of that goes against what you believe,
Right.
I guess how do you approach that?
Well, I feel like we'd have to get more specific with the topic, but just
Sure, yeah. I guess that was kind of vague. I don't know
in
how
like
to
in like
word
a
what I'm
broad.
trying to say.
I kind of get your question that my truth might be different from somebody else's truth, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess that's my question is like if you're saying that you believe that truth comes from the Bible, a Jewish person is going to say that it comes from the Torah, or a Muslim person is going to say from the Quran. So I guess like how does that? So if the metric to improve a society is more people turning towards, I guess just turning towards religion in general. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but see, I have a lot of Jewish friends, and we'd agree that there's just fundamental truths that, I mean, they're just fundamental. I don't know where else you'd get them from other than like it's the truth.
Well, I could make a secular argument for why killing somebody's bad.
Okay.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I think you could make secular arguments for like a conservative position.
Like what?
Well, like it's not good to kill somebody because they're a person, I guess.
Right.
Like you shouldn't do it. It's not good.
Do you
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not like a good secular argument, but like so in that sense, do you think that Christianity and conservatism have to go together?
No.
No. Okay.
No. For me, yes, but I'm not going to shove that down anybody's throat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never going to shove my religion or my values down your throat, but I will definitely be speaking about that because that's just who I am as a person. That is what I take a lot of pride in, that I believe in. So, yeah, but no, I don't. I mean, yeah, I can't force that on somebody.
Okay. We got to wrap here. It's
Oh.
almost 2:00.
I was late, so I can give you like 5-10 more minutes.
Okay.
Up to you.
Yeah. Okay. What is your advice to young people?
Just in general.
Yeah, just in general that want to, that want to get politically involved, that want to
politically
just. Well,
involved.
I'm sorry, I didn't even ask this, and again, it's just should have. What are you majoring in? What are you
I
studying?
am a pre-law major, so it's
Okay.
a law, criminal justice, and society bachelor's degree.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I'm graduating this semester.
So anyone that wants to get involved with that as well, just what advice do you have for people?
Yeah, so advice for people in general, whether you're not like trying to get involved in anything, is just like stay off your phone, listen to your parents, don't question everything. Question everything you see online. I think that if you question everything, you can't be fooled by everything because you're now digging for information and there's different perspectives and you're going to somebody that could kind of guide you with whatever topic you're interested about. But I would say question everything. That's super important. And stay off your phones. I think that really helped me. My parents didn't give me a phone when I was very young, and I think that I was raised pretty well. So that's my advice in general. I think there's literal like 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds getting phones right now. Gen Alpha is crazy. But then for younger people that are trying to get into the conservative movement or want to start speaking out about it, because that's a huge problem too. There's a lot of conservatives, but they're scared to speak up because you'll hear a story like mine. You get death threats for saying what you believe in or whatever the case is. But I think it's super important because it starts with you. So if you say something, it'll encourage the next person to say something, and that next person will be encouraged by the person before them. And it's just a train of, the more people that speak up, the better it'll be. And for me, because I spoke up, there is now a conservative club on campus. So when I leave the semester, there's going to be a place for people to continue to gather and talk about politics or whatever's going on in the world. But that's just like my advice to them. And, I always say that your friend group is really important. Tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. That's something I go by. So, make sure that you're in a circle of people that build you up and share the truth with you and can encourage you in whatever you're doing, whether you're not conservative or whether you are. Like that, I think that applies to everybody. Make sure your circle is a good group of people that genuinely love you, believe in you, and will always, always, always be honest with you.
What did you say? Tell me who your friends are, and then I'll tell you who you are. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of? So what's your favorite part of your job? And I guess that could be if you are working a job like in law right now, or the Turning Point stuff.
Yeah.
Both or whatever.
Yeah. So I actually just finished working at a law firm. I worked there for a year. I worked around 40 hours a week, and I did family law. And I would take their calls, hear about their problems and try to see how the lawyer can then help them. So I was like the consultation before the lawyer, before I told the lawyer, hey, this is a good case, we should work on this. My favorite part about that was helping people. First of all, I want to work in something where I could help children. I have a passion for that. I love it. So yeah, I think that was my favorite part about it. Helping the families and seeing the children like actually flourish despite their situation with the divorces or whatever was going on in their family. Adoptions were really, really cool to work. because that's part of family law as well. And then I would say for Turning Point, feels like a job, but I just don't get paid. But it's a lot of fun. My favorite part is seeing the impact you can make, not just in your college campus, but in like independently, like different people's lives. I would say that's really cool. It's like you're pouring into their cup, and you just see them like flourish and gain confidence in who they are. And I always tell them this because there's a lot of freshmen that I have younger siblings. So to me, they feel like, younger siblings, and you want to give them advice whenever they're discriminated or whatever the case is for saying that they're conservative, because it's a huge thing right now on college campuses.
It is. Yeah. And if anyone doesn't think it is,
like
look it up.
look at
up
videos.
Look up The Canceling of the American Mind by Greg Lukianoff, and shoot, I forget her name. That's but I actually have to look that up because I don't want to mess that up. But look up that, because seriously, it is worse than it's worse than the McCarthy Red Scare.
Yeah.
It is. And I've heard some crazy stories from people at Pitt. So
yeah.
Okay.
So what I was gonna say was the advice I always give them is that the world, whatever your world is, that it applies to, whether you're in high school, college, workforce, whatever. The world can't define you if you know who you are. That is something that I always tell people. That's something that I live by. If you're rooted and you know who you are, you know what you believe in, you know what you're standing up for, all of that, the world can't change you. It won't rock you. But, you have to be grounded, and that's something that I always try to share with people that come up to me and ask me how I do what I do.
Well, thank you very much for sitting down with me today and for taking time out of your day to do this.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.